Welcome to the show. I'm Jason Whitlock, and I'll tell you why. We just got even more proof that this is going to be Tom Brady's last season.
And I'm Colin Cowherd, and I'll tell you how Kevin Durant just proved he's the most fragile superstar in American sports. Speak for yourself starts right now. Fragile.
Hug life. And I actually like Kevin Durant. I disagree with Colin. We'll get to that later. All right, hello and welcome. We're joined today by Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson and Super Bowl champ Seth Joyner. Let's start in New York, where the Giants offense laid another egg Monday night, prompting doomsday predictions from the New York media. Coach Ben McAdoo says the team's not going to panic, but that he's open to making changes, explaining, quote, "We can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's insanity. It's not working. So we're going to look to make some changes this week like we did last week. Maybe a little more drastic this week. If that means me giving up play calling duties, that's something that we'll look at and talk about." All right, Cowherd, should the Giants be in panic mode after an 0-2 start?
Yeah, and there's two reasons for me. Number one, bad O-line is hard to correct midseason. Okay, there are very few great O-linemen in this league, and they're not changing teams. Okay, so you got a bad O-line week 2, it's not great week 8. Second thing is, nobody's rebuilding in this division. Everybody sees themselves, and that's rare. You look around the NFL, virtually every division, everybody, these are big media markets, Jason. D.C., Philly, New York, Dallas. These are NFL cities, pressurized markets. You're going to be at week 16. There's going to be no rebuilding, no tanking. That's going to be a win or you're fired game for a head coach somewhere in D.C. I think they're in big trouble.
Ben McAdoo probably should be in panic mode. The Giants as an overall organization, again, they're the king of slow starts. They won Super Bowls after 0-2 starts and coming in as a wild card and at 9-7. So, look, it can be done. There's 0-2 teams every year that make the playoffs. It can be done. I will disagree with you and everybody that thinks that an offensive line can improve over the course of the season. Yes, it can. Working together, better communication, a little better strategy thing if they start chipping a guy for Eric Flowers and providing him some help. The offensive line can improve. And so I get why Ben McAdoo's in panic mode. He's talking about giving up play calling. That to me is him saying, I'm not that good. I mean, what's the asset, the value that he brings to the team as a head coach? He's supposed to be a terrific play caller. Ben McAdoo in some individual panic mode. The Giants as a whole, 0-2, everybody's got a loss in their division. They're all right.
Listen, 0-2 is one thing, 0-3 is a whole different ball of wax because teams don't come back from 0-3 and win divisions and win playoff games, or even get into playoff games for that matter. Listen, they haven't had a good running game in New York since Thunder and Lightning, okay? So Eli is not a mobile quarterback. He's constantly under pressure. He doesn't perform well under pressure, you know, and this football team right now, they have spent a boatload of money on the defensive side of the ball and has refused to, address the most important position on the field. That's the quarterback, and giving him an offensive line and a running game. And it's not going to get better. Listen, I don't care what you say about the offensive line. They are not going to get any better than they are. The only thing that's going to happen is you're going to have to keep people in. Then you're going to limit the amount of wide receivers that go out in the pass routes, which is going to play right into defense's hands because then they don't have to, play guys a certain way. They can just double Odell and double, one of the other guys and call it a day.
I agree, Seth. I don't think panic mode is right. When you look at Dallas is 1-1, Philly is 1-1, the Giants are 0-2, and the Redskins are 1-1. The offensive line, I think it can get better because you got to understand, you're not going to play a speed rusher every week. I mean, Eric Flowers may not have trouble with a guy that's a bull rusher. So I think that the line can get better. Not great now, don't get me wrong. It's not going to be great, but I think it can get better. And also, you're right, they don't have a running game. You've got to have a running game. People try to say that the running back is overrated, we shouldn't have him anymore, but you've got to have a running game. And that's where they're hurting it. They don't have a mobile quarterback. We know that. I mean, he looks more like his dad, like Archie Manning instead of Eli Manning right now. So
I would say one thing, too, is, there's a case to be made that there are certain divisions that are easier. I mean, Carolina once made the playoffs at 7-8-1. Remember when the NFC West was awful, Seattle made it sub 500 or something. Look at the schedule for the Giants. I mean, I could argue these are 5 of the top 7 defenses in the NFL. Philadelphia's defensive line, Tampa Bay's defensive front, Joey Bosa and the Chargers,
Melvin Ingram,
Von Miller, Seattle. Let's just say they pick off the Chargers and Seahawks at home. All right, you're 2-4. That you start getting into a hole where you're just fighting to be 500.
Well, hold on, though. When you look at the Chargers, Broncos, and the Seahawks, their offenses aren't setting the world on fire.
Right.
And so there are other ways to win football games. You can win with one side of the ball, and they've spent enough money that where they should have an expectation, hey, defense, go out and win us a game or two. That's what we're paying you for.
Not when your quarterback is getting sacked 5 times a game and turning the ball over, because he turns into a turnover machine when he's under pressure, Eli Manning. And that's going to be a problem. And Eric, you know what? They can get better. Listen, I can shoot 72, 71 every once in a while, but it don't happen that often.
But you shoot.
But it don't happen that often.
But you shoot. And they don't have their best receiver. I mean, Beckham is out. He's hampered by that ankle injury, high ankle sprain. So, you know, I think when they get him back, the offense changes. You know, like some teams go as their stars go, and the Giants go as
Steelers are like that. Steelers are as good as their stars. The Patriots are more the system.
All right, welcome back to the show. Eric Dickerson and Christine Leahy are back. Let's move to Tom Brady. According to former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci, Gisele Bundchen wouldn't let Tom Brady come to the White House with the Patriots, allegedly because the quarterback used to date President Trump's daughter, Ivanka. Here's Gisele when asked about the rumors.
Gisele, did you block Tom from going to the White House because of Ivanka? Are the rumors true, Gisele?
All right, Cowherd, do you buy that Gisele was behind Brady skipping the White House?
I do. Wives control most homes. If they don't, you've chosen the wrong wife. Strong women make a great relationship, and they have the buying power, and they choose vacations, and they choose where your kids go to school.
You have no say.
The only say I have is I'm occasionally allowed to choose the wine at dinner.
And
That's it.
whose fault is that, Colin?
No, it's just the reality of relationships.
So your wife owns you.
I wouldn't say own. There's a strong lease to buy. She controls most of my guy friends. The woman controls, I would say.
No wonder you never get to hang out with me. Now I got it figured out. I don't blame your wife.
By the way, I'm comfortable with it. I have a life I like, and there's a lot of things I'm not good at, she's better at, but I think this is very common in America.
Oh, gosh. Well, do you really think that Gisele was jealous of Ivanka?
Yes.
Oh,
Ivanka Trump?
Okay, first of all, I don't know what kind of marriage they have. I don't know how secure they are. We don't know, right? Because we don't live with them. But I have a really hard time believing that Gisele is worried that Tom's going to go visit the White House and that Ivanka is going to be randomly walking the hallways. And she's married with children, Ivanka, so is Tom.
Ivanka's
and that they're going to all of a sudden rekindle their romance passing by in the White House. That might not even happen.
And stranger
That's
things
a
have happened.
That's a lot.
Stranger things have happened in that White House. Stranger things have happened in that White House. I mean, ask the Kennedys. A lot of stuff happened in the White House.
Ask the Clintons.
Ask the Clintons.
Don't you think if Ivanka and Tom wanted to rekindle, they would figure out a way, and it wouldn't be because he's visiting the White House?
Yeah, but jealousy is a weird thing. People are jealous over strange
I agree
things.
with that. But you know what?
But why are we making Gisele into this jealous, controlling person when we have no idea what's going on?
I'm not making her out to be a jealous and controlling woman.
If anything, I would say that Gisele, I would believe the story about the environment and that she didn't want Tom supporting Donald Trump for that. I would believe that more than I would believe this.
They're friends.
But hold on, you got to make her out to be this jealous, controlling woman. I think I'm just making her out to be a wife. And she's calling shots however she wants to call shots, and if it's the political discomfort she's uncomfortable with, and then you throw on top of, used to date his daughter. No. Keep your butt here at home.
Concussion concerns, political concerns. She has a strong voice in that
And as
house.
well she should.
Okay, but can we draw the line that she's going to be jealous of Ivanka?
No, I think jealousy is a random thing.
I'm not married. You are married. Are you married?
Nope.
okay, you're not married.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah,
though.
but I would like to think that when you're in a marriage, you don't have to worry about your significant other running into an ex, that you have a strong enough foundation in the relationship that it's not going to matter. Why do you guys think this is so funny?
Ask football players that, that run to their exes lots of time. Any athlete, it could be a major problem. Depends on the way you run into them at. Guys.
Why did you break up? You obviously broke up for a reason.
Yeah, but people break up.
Great.
By the way, where do affairs happen? Facebook.
That's not with the ex?
Yeah, but
Yes,
it is with
yes,
the ex.
You guys are terrible.
No,
Terrible. We're just
We're
being
men.
honest.
We're men. We're being a man.
Hey, hold on, you letting women off the hook? They just as
Yeah,
bad.
they
as
Oh, now
us.
you're right about that.
Just as
See,
bad as us.
women are smarter than we are.
Yes.
A guy go get caught,
for sure.
he
That's
just
the
do something.
smartest thing
He
you've
got
ever
lipstick
said.
on his collar and on the bottom of his pants, and like, what's that on your pants? Where right here? What you talking about? Well, a woman, she'll plan it out. She'll take weeks and months, and all of a sudden you say, I'm leaving you. For who? The neighbor. The neighbor? Well, I didn't know y'all even knew each other.
But here's the thing. What you're basically saying is, Christine, you're questioning whether a supermodel would be jealous.
No, it doesn't matter who it is that she's a supermodel.
She's talking about being in a marriage.
Being in a marriage or being with a partner, that you don't have to be jealous of that person running into their ex. I think we're just speculating a lot.
I'm not speculating here. You got more reason to be concerned married than when you're single.
By the way,
That's also
this
very
is being
disrespectful to Ivanka,
Okay.
because Ivanka's married with children too.
No, but
so
I'm
that's
saying, you
assuming
guys,
that she would just run after
We're not
Tom.
speculating. It's
Tom
been
Brady?
reported by somebody
That
who
doesn't
was
make it
accused.
Oh, this guy's real
Anthony
credible.
Scaramucci, yeah.
Who's the
Communications
communication
director.
The communication director is just going to throw out these allegations that Giselle is jealous of Ivanka.
Well, why
That's
would he-
real credible.
Well, why would he make it up?
Why would you ever report that even if it was
Well,
true?
because
That's
you have bad
immature.
judgment. Welcome back. Joined now by Fox NBA analyst Jim Jackson, co-host on The Herd Christine Leahy. Let's move to Kevin Durant. This is a fascinating story who caused a stir this week, tweeting criticism of the Thunder and the coach Billy Donovan in the third person, which prompted speculation that he was trying to use a fake Twitter account to respond to his critics. Durant denied using a fake account, but says he's disappointed in himself for the whole situation, telling USA Today, quote, "It was a joke to me at first, doing it all summer, and it went too deep, and I went too hard, and I haven't slept in 2 days, 2 nights, haven't ate. It's crazy, because I feel so blank, pissed at myself, and I'm mad that I, brought somebody into it." Whitlock, I think this whole situation and Durant's reaction proves he is the most fragile superstar in American sports. Do you agree?
Fragile. The man was the MVP of the NBA Finals and had put on a hell of a performance and won a title. Listen, I have joked and have ribbed Kevin Durant for a year about his move to Golden State, came up with the nickname Hug Life or whatever. This here makes me like Kevin Durant. This entire situation. This dude is transparent. He's owned his mistake. He's made himself vulnerable by explaining how much it's hurt him, and he's just 28. I have more sympathy and respect for Kevin Durant. The dude is real. I respect him.
He's still the most fragile guy in sports.
You didn't answer the question.
Is Mike Trout doing that? Is Aaron Rodgers doing that? He's the only superstar.
What does
in
Mike
sports.
Trout
Wait.
want?
Well, there's about 8 superstars in American sports. Bryce
He's
Harper.
been the MVP and he's won a championship.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he's not
He's
fragile.
a competitor.
Well, but
LeBron is the most fragile player in sports, let's be honest. And I will say, if LeBron was doing the same thing, I would knock him for it. The difference is that Durant does it and then he fully acknowledges, yes, this was my mistake. He talks from his heart. He says he can't eat, he can't sleep. And I think there is something to be said about when someone criticizes you and it's something that you're insecure about, it hurts a little more and you want to be defensive. But the exception to that is when it's something you've worked so hard for and you really believe and people keep questioning you, then it gets to you where you want to defend yourself. And listen, he left for a better coach, better teammates, and a lifestyle. Those are things that we would all leave our jobs for, and he wants to defend himself for it.
Well, if you leave like that, then leave it there. You don't have to criticize where you left, is my thing. But with Kevin Durant, too, the sensitivity part comes from, I think, a part of him that has an insecurity. And then when it's brought out, he wants to defend it. And I think what people fail to realize about professional athletes or what we do is that we're human.
Yeah.
And it's hard for us, and I'm going to say us, to close our ears to what we hear. Now, depending on your background, who you are, some people handle it differently. LeBron handles it a little differently than a Carmelo may. Kevin Durant wants to prove something. Russell Westbrook just doesn't care, and I love Russell for that. But Kevin Durant has showed us over the years that the insecurities within himself come out a lot more when somebody else criticizes. Yes, he's fragile. He's fragile from the point that if you want people to really like you and embrace you, okay? So you're trying to give something. I'm gonna give you a prime example. Tiger Woods. His biggest strength was he went on the course, blocked out everything. But once he got into that situation with his wife, he tried to change his personality. He tried to have people like him more. And guess what? That's not who he was. He wanted people to embrace him. And Kevin Durant wants people like LeBron to embrace what you do. But it's not going to happen in today's world all the time.
I appreciate that he's straightforward and honest, whereas LeBron is not. He does all of the subtweeting. And I think motivation comes from different ways for different people. And for Durant, you can see it in the shoes that he made, that he wants to walk on those things that people said about him every night. That is what motivates him to be a great player.
And the Tiger Woods example, I think, is great. Tiger hasn't won anything since.
And he's trying to be somebody else.
But again, he folded. Kevin Durant has not folded in any way. He won a championship. He's nipping at the heels of LeBron to be the best player in the NBA. He's being transparent about the pay. Look, I read the stuff and I was like, damn, he admitted he ain't ate in 2 days. He's crying and blah, blah. And then I thought, as a 47-year-old or whatever, when I got fired from ESPN and the undefeated taken from me, I laid in bed for an entire day crying and whining and complaining to everybody. And then I got up the next day and said, F everybody.
Yeah, the next day.
It's been 2 days. He's 28. I'm 48 or 47.
But being transparent is this. Here's my thing. When he left OKC, why didn't he say why he left? And say, my teammates weren't good enough. Don't subtweet it. If you want to be transparent.
Hold up. But he did mean to do it from a third person.
No. If you want to be transparent, you're transparent after you got caught. Okay, now you say it. If you're really honest, you would have said it.
OJ is in jail right now saying I didn't do it. Most people that get caught still don't admit it. You know, everybody in jail is innocent.
And I'm not debating with Kevin Durant because, again, he has a certain personality and he deals with things a little differently. Listen, I could have had an ego or got hurt. I was on 12 different teams. I've been through my own stuff. The way I handle my situations are a lot different than the way Kevin Durant and other people were handling. So I don't criticize him, but if you're going to be transparent, be transparent.
We would have slammed him if right after he left, he said, oh, I'm leaving because I don't like my coach,
you slamming him now.
Teammates.
He's getting slammed now.
You know what I
mean? But he's getting slammed now.
He left Oklahoma City thinking, I'm going to win, and it's going to solve this thing that I deal with. I'm not LeBron. I can't. And then he went to Golden State and won, and it didn't leave.
No.
But he thought he left a problem. The problem stayed with him, which is, dude, they won without you, they won with you, you're not that valuable.
He's in the moment right now. Let's see how this looks a year or two from now after his second title and things like that. I respect Kevin Durant.
This is the second time I've heard Kevin Durant saying, I can't eat, I'm in bed, I'm freaking out, over like Twitter stuff.
It happens. Look, when Clemson won the national championship after you called them frauds, you laid in bed and told me about it. Dabo Sweetie called you out, and we had to coach you up to come into work the next day.
Next story.
To Kyrie Irving, who was asked this week if he had spoken to LeBron before making the trade request that led the Cavaliers to deal him to Boston, and admitted that he hadn't, but asked, quote, why would I have to? Got to say, I'm with Kyrie on this. I don't think he needed to reach out to LeBron James before making this request. Why should he? LeBron James does all kinds of moves without consulting his teammates. Kyrie Irving went to management. Remember when LeBron left Cleveland the first time and didn't tell Dan Gilbert or anybody and just bounced? Kyrie manned up, went to management. I want out of here. He don't owe LeBron that explanation.
I have a rule in life. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, especially when the hand has 3 rings on it. There's going to be a point. LeBron has huge capital in this league. Owners, GMs, players, agents. Kyrie in Boston, they win the East. They can't beat Golden State. They can't beat Golden State. Now LeBron's a Laker. We need one more star. LeBron's like, bro, I played with him. Head case, bailed.
Hit the game-winning shot.
It makes me think that Kyrie would even want to play with him again. He clearly doesn't want to.
No, I'm not playing with LeBron. I'm saying players in this league go to LeBron all the time. He controls the ESPYs. He controls political movements. Hey,
that's
LeBron, what was Kyrie?
That's the older
He's got
group.
a lot of power.
But here's the thing. The thing I love about Kyrie, if you look at his body language, he already knew exactly how he's going to approach this interview. He's going to be defiant. And I love the part, well, I don't owe him anything. I don't have to. Now, you don't have to, but when you are engaged in a relationship, like if you're really cool, you're going to tell somebody you're cool with, I'm leaving.
Absolutely.
Obviously, to me, and I look back at this and I said this from the beginning, before we judge Kyrie, let's give him a chance to speak. Before we try to interpret everything, allow him to speak about the situation. Because this thing has been going on 3 years, okay? So he told you right there in that interview, LeBron and my relationship really wasn't that tight. Now, keep in mind, LeBron's relationship with D-Wade was extremely tight, and LeBron didn't tell D-Wade he was leaving. D-Wade took a pay cut so they can sign LeBron to a max deal. So in perfect world, you're going to say, yes, you do owe, you should tell them. But that's not how it works.
You got no response to that.
It goes both ways. And
we
criticize the banana boat culture and these guys being too good of friends, and it isn't how it used to be, where they really had grit and they fought each other. And then when Kyrie decides to do something for him, then we're going to criticize him for that too. So they just can't win. And you're right. I don't think that LeBron would have told Kyrie what he was going to do.
No.
He didn't tell D-Wade.
He didn't tell D-Wade. That's his boy.
Kyrie knew that. So why shouldn't it be every man for himself? Why should
But
Kyrie go
Kyrie
get
did it the
his?
right way, and you said it. He went to management and said, here's the issue, okay? And it came out the other way around.
The floor is yours, young man. He didn't tell D-Wade.
It's a pretty good point.
That's all I get for that? Is that it?
Fist bump.
Okay.
Okay, just look at Kyrie's record without LeBron.
Early.
You can win these arguments. But Kyrie without LeBron was an injury-riddled, selfish, no defensive player that could not win games. He won 21, 24, 33, no playoff appearances.
He had to be selfish.
Hey, look
at the roster.
I love LeBron. He's a great player. I love him. Great.
You always tell me this.
Seriously. But in Cleveland, what did LeBron win without Kyrie Irving? Who hit the game-winning shot? Who was the most unstoppable finisher?
So now you're going to argue Kyrie's better than LeBron.
Absolutely not. But I'm going to say there was a bit more equality on the court than what you're giving credit to. I don't think they were equals, but Kyrie carried his load, and that's one of the reasons why Kyrie is like, look, I did my part here.
Well, Christine and I were talking about this the other day. The one thing we're all back, you know, you unpack this, and it happens, and I react, and over time, there is one thing, though. Magic and Bird saved the league. That was kind of the narrative. Like, the league was literally, they were putting the finals on at night undelayed. And then MJ made it global. LeBron's become sort of the player mobility. He empowered athletes. Like, you're more powerful than owners in this league. The problem with that is Kyrie's like, he's Mr. Mobility. Why would he be offended if I want to be mobile? So LeBron has set the precedent in the league is always leave for a better opportunity. And Kyrie, a smart guy, watched it and went, yeah, it's my turn to leave for a better opportunity.
Well, here's the thing about Kyrie, two things. One, if you listen to what he said he wants to get back to playing point guard, which means he didn't want to isolate and be on the wing. I also believe, like LeBron, the biggest thing that helped LeBron when he went to Miami, learn how to win and win the right way. Kyrie has learned how to win. I believe his role is going to be a little bit different with Brad Stevens now that he has playmakers on the wing where Isaiah didn't, that Kyrie is going to be a different type of player under Brad Stevens' system. With that and also understanding that he's won before. So early in his career, yeah, that's one thing. But now where he's at in his career, totally different.
That's a good point.
Listen, here's what you're missing, Colin. We'll hopefully end on this note, but maybe not. LeBron is great at sharing the ball. He's not great at sharing power. And Kyrie wanted a little bit of the share to the power. Felt like he had earned that.
You guys all had a really nice segment. Welcome back. Joined now by Fox College football analyst Joel Klatt, founder of the Big Lead, Jason McIntyre. Let's move to college football, where Sports Illustrated says that it now feels inevitable that Alabama and Clemson will meet for the third straight title game this winter. Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney's teams are ranked 1 and 2, respectively. But there is an argument to be made that Clemson should be the top team, scoring more and racking up more yards per game than the Crimson Tide. Whitlock, who should be ranked number 1? I know who I think it is, Bama or Clemson.
It's got to be Alabama because of Nick Saban and just because of all the talent that runs through there. I think we've fallen in love with the Clemson quarterback and the way he's been impressive. But Jalen Hurts is off to a hell of a start. He's working his way into the Heisman trophy race. He hasn't thrown an interception. He's thrown 4 TDs. He's completing 67% of his passes. He looks like a guy that's playing real well without Steve Sarkisian or Lane Kiffin. And so I'm just going to go. I'm always going to bet on Nick Saban in Alabama and Clemson and Dabo Swinney. Dabo may be the equal, and Clemson may be turning into a program on the same level, but I got to see more proof.
I'm all with Clemson. Sacked Auburn 11 times. When's the last time Bama sacked Auburn 11 times? Totally shut down Lamar Jackson. Last time they played Alabama, won. Clemson now is so deep that I don't even know the names of their defensive players. They're just all good. I mean, literally, Alabama, I'm like, oh, that's Jonathan Allen last year, and there's Reuben Foster. Clemson, rotate them in. They're all good. They just overpower people. They're like a really well-coached, well-quarterbacked LSU.
Yeah, they're a better version, certainly, of LSU because they can play offense. LSU can't right now. I think this is lazy, okay? This conversation about just these two teams is lazy because there are a lot of really good teams in college football. There are flaws at Alabama. There are flaws at Clemson. They've proven to be really good teams. They've answered some big questions coming into this year, namely, was Hurts going to develop? Yeah, I think he has. And you hit the nail on the head. He's developing into a Heisman Trophy candidate. Clemson, were they going to be able to replace Deshaun Watson? They've done that with Kelly Bryant. He's been fabulous. Their defense, I agree with you, Colin, has been lights out. You know, Christian Wilkins kind of leads the charge with that defensive front. But it's lazy to stop there. It is, because the two Oklahoma schools are playing unbelievable football with Mason Rudolph at Oklahoma State and Baker Mayfield, who, by the way, Oklahoma, let's not forget, has the biggest win of the season, going to the Horseshoe and beating Ohio State. We still have Michigan out there. If they develop any sort of quarterback play, they're a playoff caliber team. There's a lot of really good football teams. Penn State, most explosive offense in the Big Ten. They've got the best running back in the Big Ten and the country, a great tight end. That's exactly what Ohio State struggles with. I think it's lazy to stop at Clemson and Alabama at this point.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Harsh words from a
Very
harsh man.
As
Joel
lazy
Klatt.
as the question may be, Joel, here's how you should look at this and why it is Clemson. The defense is about equal. Clemson maybe a slight edge. Dabo's catching up to Saban, but quarterback is the play. Jalen Hurts has been very nice, but what I've seen from Kelly Bryant, you watched that Auburn game, right? They knocked him out of the game. He was gone for a series. He comes back, starts throwing dimes. The offense picks up. And what he did at Louisville, I was super impressed by. This is the first road game for Kelly Bryant. Remember, this is an offense, guys. Lost Gallman, the running back, to the pros. Lost the receiver, Williams, to the pros. And obviously the quarterback. I mean, Hurts returned his #1 running back and his #1 receiver. I got to go with Clemson.
I will say this about Clemson. I love Clemson right now. I have them ranked #2. Their two big wins are against very overrated teams. Auburn's overrated. Louisville's overrated. Louisville struggled with Purdue. They struggled with North Carolina. It was inevitable that they were going to lose to Clemson. Auburn has not been very good for a decade outside of 2 years. They were overrated to begin the year. Alabama and Oklahoma's wins over Florida State and Ohio State, respectively, those
Wait,
are quality
you're telling me,
wins.
Joel, you know Ohio State's great, given the struggles with Indiana.
Listen, they put up how many yards against Indiana? They scored how many points against Indiana? They won by 3 touchdowns on the road in conference in the biggest environment that stadium has had maybe ever.
They got a lot of young
That's pretty
folks.
good.
I want to just pin you down very quickly because you are the voice of college football. You are the smartest guy I know in college football. Very quickly, who should be #1 right now? Who's your #1?
My #1's Alabama. If I had to write down a team right now, it's
No,
Alabama. I just think it's
too smart
to stop there. To stop there, I think
No, you've already agreed with me, Joel. You've proven your point.